Hey everyone, I figured it was about time I needed to come on and do a video. The cat's gonna be out of the bag one way or another, as I know there are a lot of people interceding on my behalf. And so we're just gonna get into it. So for about 12 months, I have been navigating some symptomology. I knew my vascular system was involved, but there's steps that have to be taken before you can have certain testing done to rule out other things. And so Grant and I went to my vascular surgeon last Thursday, and I have surgery scheduled on Wednesday at the heart hospital. And that surgery in itself is not necessarily dangerous because they're not even sure that they can do it. They're going to try 3 different ways. But the risk from that surgery is if when they try to go in and balloon scar tissue, my vein rips. So let's talk about kind of what's going on, why I'm having it, and how I got here. So back 10 years ago, even before that, I started having different symptomology. I had ports placed, had chemo, all of those things, and now my brachiocephalic vein has scarred itself down. And there are multiple reasons in my functional nutritional world of systems and signals, whether from genetic signals and other things that would cause that to happen. Plus my ports were in that vein because they go through your subclavian to your brachiocephalic, to your vena cava, into your heart. So when they say chemo and things are only caustic to your superficial veins, which is why they put in ports, that makes no sense. Anyway, all that here said, so what has happened is I was septic. I told them I was septic way before they knew I was septic. But because their testing didn't show it, they didn't believe me. And by the time they found it, I was in deep trouble. And so I had clotted in the left side of my chest. I had sepsis. I had fluid on my lungs. It was bad. And then I had multiple ports that were put in on my left side for treatment that I probably never needed because they didn't fully know what was going on with me at the time. But now that's kind of what I do for other people, although I haven't been loud about who I've been helping and what I have been doing, because it's not about me, it's about glorifying God, and I truly believe He's bestowed this knowledge on me. And so what has occurred is my brachiocephalic vein has scarred itself completely down. There is no blood flow in that area. And so it has stopped blood flow from my subclavian, and then it blocks any blood flow through the brachiocephalic because it's all scar tissue of my own vein. And then it blocks the blood flow to my vena cava to the left side of my heart. Now, for it to become completely occluded means that it had to be occurring for a while, and my body has also tried to create full-on collaterals, meaning it knew blood flow was altering, I knew blood flow was altering, I just didn't know where, and it started trying to save itself. It takes a long time for the collaterals I have to grow. Now, there's really only one option to kind of fix what I have, which is the surgery that they're looking at doing with our family situation and all of that, because of its location, the type of tissue it is, all of those things. And It's just not in a good area. It's deeper. It involves multiple pathways. It's just a lot more complex. However, always use me as a cautionary tale, because this is why I fight for my clients and people the way that I do. If they would have caught it when it was still semi-open, they would have had the ability to get right through, balloon it, and I could have helped alter signaling of endothelial tissue, of inflammatory cytokines, of all sorts of things, if I knew it was occurring. Now, these typically re-occlude, which is true, because the signaling to occlude it does not stop. And there can be anatomical issues and things like that because of scar tissue and other things from procedures that I had that I probably never needed. And so always use me as a cautionary tale, because if it would have been caught earlier, I would not be in the position that I am in currently. And if I hadn't had the treatments that I had, I would not be in the position probably that I am right now. And so now I'm trying to not be angry. I don't like doing what I do for my clients for myself, because I truly feel like what is going on with me, it never needed to happen. And it was caused me, but who's responsible? Because this started so long ago. Is the person from Community North responsible? That when I was in a coma, he didn't even know me, and he came in, and because he's only neurology, and his neurology does not allow you to look at all the other systems and signals that impact neurological functioning that cause the outward symptomology, and then he put in my records not to medically treat me anymore, which hindered me actually getting access to care. And then when I contacted Community North, they were like, oh, every doctor has a right to their opinion, which if I just gave opinions, like, I didn't think that's what practicing medicine was, and I'm sure he hasn't thought about me twice, but how bad he hindered me getting help, I don't know how that's not malpractice, but in our state, that's hard to go after. And I don't want to tear the system down. I want it to get better, but I also don't think people need to use our medical system to heal their bodies, because just like my body is trying to grow new veins, like, you can reverse and do a lot of things if you understand what you're working with, what the terrain would be predisposed to. It never means that it's going to happen to the person. So, like, we need to stop stealing hope from these people. Like, I work a lot with people on the spectrum because of Jonah, and we need to stop telling people that they were predisposed and so it's just going to happen. Like, there is so much more going on underneath that all can be supported. So we need to stop telling people there's no way to reverse different diseases and autoimmunity and all of these things. We need to wake up and start telling people what is actually going on with these individuals, that we know how to help it, but that's not the system that is set up as our healthcare system to actually help people. We suppress the symptomology we can measure without understanding what systems would be causing it, or how to alter signaling from those systems to stop, and what exposures also play a part. And genetic exposures that are activated carry a part in that. None of Jonah's genes are bad, but many have been activated to start dysfunctioning, which would cause the outward symptomology we are seeing. And we are actively reversing that. I know that sounds crazy, and those are a lot of words, but I am not allowing what has happened to me to happen to other people at all. And I will never. And so, in some ways, I am grateful, because my husband and I were talking the other day, and I said, I would go through all of this all over again if it meant that we understand how to support our daughter's genetic metabolic disorder in the right way, and that I'm seeing the son that I am, and he has the ability to live a life. Now, I am a prepper, And my daughter would be angry if I wasn't prepared for something to happen to me. That's not being morbid, it's just facts. And so I do prepare because I know I'm sick, but I will say with confidence, the son I am looking at now and he was never meant to be the person they were telling me that he was with his symptomology of autism. And his genes flat out spell it out, everything that would impact him, pesticide sensitivity within those, all different types of things. And I am tired. I am so tired of a system who takes an oath, if you look at the original oath, to Hippocrates, to Apollo, they break that oath because in the original it says not to do a lot of things that they do. And so I don't know where their foundation ever lies. I don't think that these doctors get in this to cause harm, but I don't think they fully understand what business system they're getting in when there are a lot of times the symptomology that you are seeing from a system is not actually from that organ or system. And with me, they remove so many organs, I can't even support myself the way that I support my clients because I can't regrow everything they took out of me before they even decided to evaluate. But I also don't blame some of those doctors because at least they were trying, unlike, the doctor at Community North that was just like, nothing's wrong with her, she's doing this to herself, so don't help her. He's not the one that is worried about dying. And he was supposed to help me. And when he came in my room and said that to my husband, my mom, and I just sat there silent because with arrogance like that, there's no fighting that. He was bound by what he thought because he didn't understand what was actually occurring in my body. And so if you have conditions in your body right now that are going on, find an FDN. Find a functional nutritional counselor. Find a holistic health practitioner. Find someone who works with functional genomic SNPs as a whole. Not one SNP, because not one gene. Like MTHFR. It's impacted by so many other things. So stop just trying to help the one when you know that if there's downstream or upstream things that have to occur prior to that, you're not helping them. Analyze the whole individual so they have the best ability to function. I had gastroparesis. I was in a study at Johns Hopkins. I don't have that anymore. Start understanding what causes things and start altering what's causing it and understand what environmental impacts. Start activating our genetics in variations that have occurred within our genetics that make us sick. And I am just tired of seeing doctors and the system and insurance companies wipe their hands like Pontius Pilate as people are dying, being like, we did all we could. We have no idea why this happened. Bull crap. And so, all that to say, it's sad to me that people are associating what is going on with me with God, because God is moving in my body in so many ways. He's trying to allow it to build new veins. He's given me knowledge to not just help myself, but others. If they can get this open, I can alter signaling. That just takes time. And right now, because of how much time has already been lost, that's the hardest thing to know. But I haven't really wanted to come out and say anything because I didn't want any of my clients or people that I'm working with right now, and I'm doing all of that for free for them because they deserve it. Because their lives weren't meant to be the way they are from what I'm seeing. And I'm sick of people stealing hope from them. But I didn't want them to feel like they were burdening me during this time, because they have allowed me to fulfill what I feel like God has placed as my purpose throughout this whole time. And I truly feel like what's going on with Jonah, with what's going on with me, like it was done to us. It was completely done to us by the systems and the world that's supposed to keep us safe and help us. And my research, I have made sure it will be continued. I have set people in place to continue it for both my son and my clients, because I can't, even if something occurs where I'm not here anymore, God's glory, because of my presence here, can reign so long after me. And this has always been my temporary home. And, my biggest fear is that I didn't speak out enough about what I know and the knowledge He's given me for His purpose. But also that's a selfish desire, and I know I don't have to be the person that is helping these people, because it's God that is helping these people. And I make that very clear to all of them. And sometimes I forget that makes people uncomfortable. But I am blessed to be here today. I didn't think I'd make it this long. I truly believe that the knowledge that I have access to in my brain right now, from what I went back to school for, all of those things, it's all because of Him. And if I don't utilize it in that way, then it's not going to flourish. And it's not for the right reasons. So, Wildflowers of Eden is going to go a little bit dormant for a little bit of time. Unless I'm currently working with you as a client, I will keep researching and working for you behind the scenes 100% until I can't. And then I have set up for people to continue after me. And so that is not my plan, but I don't have the luxury of just acting like none of this is occurring. Now, I have put all my inventory, because I've been getting texts about body butters and things, which I'm so grateful people have been enjoying the formulations I've been making, including the formulations. So I formulate my own essential oil blends with resins to then create the scents. That's from the Functional Organic Cosmetic Chemistry School. But so they are all at Pink Moon 22. And she is off of 10th Street on Anderson. So that is where all my product stays. If you're running out, if you want more, any of those things. If there's something you need me for herbally, you can get a hold of Julie from Pink Moon 22, and she has access to me. But right now, I really just need to focus on the people that I'm currently working with, that are in my life, my kids, my husband, and people that are seeing this that are local. I really ask you not to say anything to Alana. We've had to have some hard conversations with her. But I have set up people in my life, and she has seen me intercede on people's behalf to God without them knowing. She knows who I truly am, and she always has. And I know that other people would come beside her. But we're just trying to keep everything as normal as possible. And so, we just don't really want to talk about it while we're out and about, because I have a hard time keeping it together. And if she sees me fall apart, she's gonna know that I feel like it's really bad. But she also knows that her mother does not want to be kept alive just for them to say, look, yay, we saved her. And then I can't fulfill the purpose that I feel like God has bestowed upon me. And so this is kind of where we're at. The plan was this summer to remodel the barn, to do the holistic health practitioner practice and the spa and all of that by appointment only. But even though that's a couple months from now, that's a long-term goal for me right now. And so I was blessed yesterday with the person I've been working with that was going to help at the meditation garden and getting medicinal plants. She brought people out and they did our garden for free to make sure that Grant didn't have things to worry about, and it was a burden because I didn't have the energy to do it. And so I'm not good at receiving blessings, but thank you to those people. It was such a blessing, and it will be a blessing, long after Wednesday and long after whatever may occur. And I just hope in all of this that people truly understand that I do not feel like God did this to me. He has walked with me through choices that I have made with guidance that may have not been correct by a field that was supposed to help me, that hindered my body's ability to do things, to heal itself, to set it up to heal itself. But that's not a good business model for our current system. So instead of trying to fix the problem artificially, why don't we understand how to unravel it so that the problem doesn't need to be fixed anymore? But my hope is that, after Wednesday, he finds a weak spot. He's gonna try to go through my arm. He's gonna try to go through my neck. If that doesn't work, he's gonna try to go through my groin. And then I don't think there are many other options if it doesn't work. But best scenario is he gets it through, he balloons it. Then a couple months later, I'll have to go back, and then what I do will take over, and I will start setting up systems to stop communication, to stop scarring my vein down, and hope that we can help it stay open. And that's the ultimate prayer and goal. And so I have always been transparent with my clients. This time it's a little bit different. When you tell people what's going on, they always have an opinion. I had someone that was working with me when I was really sick, and she would say things to me about my daughter's softball games, and if I really wanted to go, I would, at a time where I was regularly passing out in massive amounts of heat. And I just let her say it. Because I have learned, I did not grow up this way, but I have learned that it is much harder to not say things than to be reactive and respond. And that's where our tongues can be very wicked. So all that to say, God has blessed me through all of this in so many ways, and I would go through all of this again if it meant I was helping Jonah be the person he was meant to be, which is what we're seeing now. And other people. It has been hard for me to go around people and realize that there are struggles that they may not fully understand, but I can see. symptomology wise and not help. But this type of knowledge, it's supposed to bring clarity and peace and calmness in your delivery and giving hope, not chaos, confusion, and damage. And those are two very different systems. And I don't play games with people's health. I'm not good at playing chess. And I feel like we are in a chess match and there's a whole lot more going on than people realize about how we make ourselves better. And so, understand that if anything does occur to me, don't be mad at God. Like, I'll be with Him, I'll be home, I'll be happy, and I won't have any of this pain. But I also don't want to go there before it was meant to be. And so, please don't hesitate, if you're already working with me, to continue to do so. Like I said, you are giving me more purpose and value than you realize during this time. And just keep me and my family in your prayers. And understand that this never needed to happen.